This is our principal, Mr. Acosta. How are you today?
I'm wonderful. Thank you for having me in today.
Yeah, of course. So, how has the school year gone so far, in your opinion?
You know, I think we're having a great school year. You know, I always look at the success of the school year by what our students are accomplishing, right? And so, but what I've done this year a little bit more is I've tried to get it out more now that students know me. Last year people were like, hey, this cool new principal, but now, you know, we know each other a little bit better. So I've been sitting like on the patio, I've been sitting in the lunchrooms, I've been trying to have more dialogue with students in a deep way. Like last year was just like, oh, this guy who, you know, just trying to make contact with people. Yeah. And this year I'm trying to take it a little deeper, you know, to get to the root of what we can do to make Westwood even better than it is for students. So I would say this year my interaction with students has been less digital and more personal. In person and personal, and trying to get to understand, you know more students and figure out what we can do at Westwood to continue to improve. Yeah.
Speaking of improving Westwood, have you seen our latest story on stress?
Yeah, I saw it. I read it. I read it over once. Good information in there, and I know that. You know, you guys did a good job of getting student voice into the piece, which was phenomenal. Yeah,
we went really in depth, you know, and did some surveys. So, as the principal, what steps are you taking to make this problem better for Westwood?
Like our really stress culture. Yeah. When I was hired as the principal, when you go through the process of being a principal and interviewing, they give you kind of like survey data and stuff about the campus. So even before I was ever named the principal at Westwood, it was glaringly obvious that student stress was the main issue at Westwood High School. That was clear even before I stepped foot on the campus. To answer your question, what am I doing as the principal? It's been a plan that I've had in place since I got here, and it's a multi-year plan that I have, and it approaches those three what we call constituencies, or our three groups, right, which is our students, our parents, and our staff. Things have to be done differently in all three areas, right? So for instance, students need to stop taking 8 AP classes, right? That helps reduce stress when you've overloaded yourself, right? Like they say an AP class equals 3 hours of college credit as far as the workload. So if you take 8, that's 8 times 3 is 24. Like nobody takes 24 college credits in college. Like that's not even allowable. But yet some of our students are doing that here. Now add on top of that if you're in band, or if you're in journalism, or if you're in debate, or IB, right? All the extra things that we do in high school to stay well-rounded for college apps and all that. So part of it is students are doing too much. So from the student base, are we educating ourselves and saying, hey, we don't have to do all that, right? There's the student piece. The parent piece. Oftentimes, and I don't know if anybody in the room can relate to this, but sometimes parents are like, hey, you need to take 4 AP classes. And it's like, Mom, I don't want to. I just need 2. So there's this piece about educating our parents as well as to what our college is looking for. Because here's what our parents want from our students, right? They want you guys to go to college. Yeah. And they want you to do as good as you can at Westwood so you can get money for free to go to college, right? And I get it because I'm a parent. So we got to continue to educate the parents and say, what are the things we shouldn't push the students into because it's hurting them stress-wise? And then there's the teachers. And what are the things that teachers do on a regular basis that cause stress? Like, you know, 6 hours of homework in one class when you've got 4 classes a day. So that's 24 hours of homework. How are you going to do that, right? You see what tests every day. Or so there's things that we're already working on as teachers. To address some of that stuff, which is like, do we really have to do that? What's the goal? Why are we trying to do this? And so my first year, not a lot happened. I did a lot of watching, listening, asking questions. This year now, we're starting to do some stuff differently.
Like understanding and then action.
And that's where we are. We are in the baby phases of action, right? I would say there's probably a 3 to 5 year plan in my brain to make a lot of this come to fruition, a lot of these changes we're talking about. So we're in year 1, even though it's my second year, this is year 1 of action, right? Because the first year was a stop and study year and understanding before you jump in. Because the worst thing you can do is come into a new school and think you know what to do and just kind of start breaking things. And so last year was real careful to not really touch much, don't break a lot, just listen. And now it's time to say, okay, let's build a plan and go to helping our students. When you look at everything about Westwood, it's like amazing, 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 amazing stress, right? So we know where it is that we need to get better. So I loved the piece because the piece really reaffirmed for me as the principal that I'm on the right track.
Yeah.
Everything the students said in the piece was like, yep, that's what students are telling me to my face. That's what I'm seeing in the surveys that I send. So it was really reaffirming that we're pointed in the right direction. Now it's just a matter of implementing some action, you know, to change.
And even though it's like a 3 to 5 year plan, like you said, even just eliminating the rank for like this year's seniors was great.
Very helpful.
So I
agree, and that's not something I can take credit for. That was something that the parents really spearhead. Wonderful. Well, thanks for having me on.
Thank you for coming. Thanks
is this like the inaugural show? So, do I do a plug? Like, make sure you watch the rest of the shows. It's going to be great interviews, right? Great information. So
promotion.
Yeah, absolutely. Make sure you tune in every week? Are we doing this weekly? Monthly? We don't know. Make sure you tune in when it's available. So, thanks for having me on. Go Wood.